There is someone out there who really died in her own movie. Dying in your own movie is an expression we use to describe people who think they're too smart. Usually they're too smart for their own good, and they end up having the most confused understanding of how the world works, and then they proceed to make the most bizarre and really foolish decisions, and everything backfires, and they're looking around going, but what happened? Why did this happen to me? Well, it's because you died in your own movie. So who died in her own movie? Well, there's a lady whose video I came across on Facebook in which she was trying to explain why women love men in relationships. She was trying to give a justification for why she personally finds men in relationships, men who are already in relationships with other women, appealing. Of course, you know where this leads. If you're attracted to men who are already in relationships, and you feel compelled to pursue a relationship with them, that can only end up with you becoming a side chick, right? Well, let's hear what she has to say. Let's give it a listen.
I think I know why women love men in relationships, and there's 3 reasons. The first one is the fact that men in relationships don't have the same thirst, hunger in their eyes. When they text you, you can tell they're texting you like a human being. It's super casual. They do not intend on seeing you naked one day.
Actually, we do, but we're playing a game with you. You see, we understand that to attract women, you're supposed to play it cool. So yeah, we're looking at you with thirsty eyes. Oh yes, we are undressing you with our eyes, in fact. We want to get in there, we want to clap them cheeks hard. But we're going to act like we're cool because we know that's what gets you excited.
Do you know what I mean? Even imagine in a club scenario, a man who's in a happy relationship, because those are the ones women tend to like, is chill vibes. If you come over to chat to him, he might talk to you, but just as a human being, keeping it casual, very little flirting, no thirst. He doesn't look like he wants to take you home. He's not trying to look at...
We don't look like we want to take you home, but we actually do want to take you home. And given how things are going, it looks like most men will succeed.
He's not trying to look at your titties, your ass, not trying to catch a wine. Chilling. And women find that attractive.
Yes, we're chilling, but looking at you with our side eye. Please don't be fooled. Of course, we're going to act like we're ignoring you. We've all done it. Guys have done this. You see the hot girl that's walking across the club or the dance floor, and she does so knowing that guys are going to be ogling her. So as a strategy, what we try to do is to try to be the guy that stands out. So we try to act aloof and uninterested. And we know that that's what's going to catch your attention. You're going to look at us while appearing to ignore you, and you're going to be like, wait, what? What's up with that guy? Can't he see that I'm out here with my thighs all out, my boobs all out, my butt jiggling? Why isn't he paying me any attention? We are, honey. We only glance at you briefly and occasionally when you're not looking, and we have every intention in the world of trying to make something happen.
Like, oh my God, you're treating me like a human being and not a piece of meat. Another thing, even think about club scenario. Men who are in a relationship are less likely to be, looking around the room, moving from woman to woman to woman, trying to get someone to go home with. They're very chill. In fact, they're trying not to look so that they don't get tempted.
Yeah, we pretend to not look, but we are looking. Trust me. Don't tell me that as you're walking across the hall that you too are also scanning the room to see who's watching. You as a woman, you can't know who's paying you attention. I mean, you can if you looked hard enough, but typically you yourself as the woman are going to be trying to walk across the room feeling and appearing aloof because you too don't want to seem like you're thirst trapping, right? Because imagine if you're walking around with your miniskirt and your eyes are darting all over the room. Yeah, people would think, yeah, look at her, she just wants attention. So even you would pretend to not be too keenly interested. So there's going to be guys who will also try to avert their gaze if they notice that your gaze is about to match theirs. So they just turn the other way while you're looking at them thinking, wow, why is he ignoring me? Well, when you turn your face the other way, trust me, guess where our eyes are going to be? It's going to be on your jiggling cheeks.
And I think that chill demeanor, the fact that you're treating women like human beings, like super casual, not trying to, get with you or anything. I think that aspect is what women find attractive. And then just because it just seems like people with those behaviors happen to be men in relationships, just because one, either they're content, two, they're just trying to not. They're trying to not get in trouble, not get tempted. So they're very chill, minding their business, enjoying their night in a very casual way.
I do see, some merit to what she's saying there. I mean, obviously, if you do have a wife, and you have a wife, and it is publicly known that you are married, obviously, you are going to be a bit more cautious about how you conduct yourself. Like, you're not just going to be throwing yourself at the women there because you don't know who's there. Maybe her family members are there, or friends are there, and they're going to tell on him. So, yeah, to an extent, and to a large extent, actually, a lot of guys will try to play it cool and to not make it seem like they're thirsty and out to get themselves some booty.
Casual way. Another thing I think is that men in relationships, I don't know, they're dressing, they always get their haircuts on time. I don't know if that's because they have someone reminding them. I don't know what it is, but they're dressing, they always seem more put together. I can't put my finger on it, but they always seem more put together. For my male friends, when they get into relationships, you can just tell, wow, like, look at you, you had potential, you're dressing. I don't know, I can't explain it. Just understand that they seem more put together. And I think a combination of all these three things in public give attributes that women might naturally find attractive, but it just so happens that a lot of these attributes are only found in men that are in relationships.
Well, I do find this interesting, and if I may give us some credit, I mean, it is true. If you have a woman in your life, a main woman, a woman who you can easily get in touch with and spend time with if you're in need of company, it does diminish the level of thirst you otherwise would have if you didn't have anyone in your life. I mean, if you didn't have a lady and you haven't been intimate with a woman for a long time, obviously you're going to be a thirsty bulldog and you're going to act a bit too needy and thirsty, and yes, you could push a woman away. But imagine you've just left home, right? Maybe you've been making out or even making love earlier, and so you've gotten that release. So all of that sexual tension has kind of, you've been able to expel it and to just be on chill mode. So when you hit the club or some party or something like that, obviously your body is also not going to be too hyper tense, and you'll be able to handle conversations with women with a very relaxed vibe, and you will give off that vibe, which might make you seem a lot more approachable to women.
So that's why it always seems that women love men in relationships, when it's just that this men treat them like human beings, are very relaxed, chill. That thirst, hunger, looking at you like a piece of meat, they don't have that. They're just... Do you think I cracked the code? Do you think that's... Never mind, I'm sure I cracked the code. Do you know why? You can differentiate, because men in happy relationships, those are the ones that women flock to, and men in unhappy relationships, the men who are busy cheating and DMing every girl on Instagram, women tend to avoid those. You hear statements like, we know that guy, he's always cheating on his girlfriend, he's in everyone's DM. No one likes them, right? But it's always the men in happy relationships that women tend to flock towards.
Wow, so damned if you do and damned if you don't. So to the woman whose husband she just found out cheated on her, I hope she will be more forgiving, because by virtue of the fact that he appears to not be too thirsty and appears to not be too hungry for sex and isn't banging down their door and blowing up their DMs, those are the ones the women actually chase. And so it's almost as though your husband will end up being punished for just being a good guy, right? Because he's probably being good because it's either in his nature to be good, or he couldn't be bothered to be a skirt chaser. But then that makes all the ladies come after him. And, it'll only take so many women to keep badgering him for attention and romance that eventually he may give in a moment of weakness. Maybe he's had an argument with you, or maybe, you've been in your monthly period and, you haven't had sex with him for a week, and you're not creative enough to find other ways of giving him sexual release. What's wrong with you? Do you know there's ways of pleasing a man even when you're in your P's? Please go watch some videos and get educated. Anyway, so if there's been a protracted period of time in which there's not been sexual intimacy, and at that moment is when girls are hounding your dudes, despite his best efforts to resist them, he might give in. So I can see how that can be a problem. So back to why I think she died in her own movie. Well, clearly she believes this. She made it seem like, hey, this is why other women are interested in guys that have girlfriends. You want to know why women like guys in... No. This is why you like guys in happy relationships. And so people like her are going to end up being side dishes to married men or men in serious relationships. And then she's going to go on social media, put out another video talking about how all men are dogs, right? Madam, you died in your own movie.
RX Radio.